The war between Earth's United Coalition and the Zytherian Empire had stretched on for 7 long years, long enough for both sides to forget who had fired the first shot. The skies of conquered worlds burned blue and red with the trails of plasma, and neither side could remember what peace even looked like anymore. But in the heart of the Zytherian capital, high above the crimson deserts of Virus Prime, sat a young queen who had inherited both her throne and her enemies far too early. Her name was Queen Veylara, barely 20 years old by Earth measure, born into power and trained in cruelty. Her orders had ended thousands of lives. Yet her emerald eyes still betrayed something rare for her kind: doubt. She had issued the command herself: capture the human named Commander Kael Renn. Bring him to me alive. The name had become legend across the stars. Kael Renn, the Earth soldier who led impossible missions, who outwitted fleets twice his size, who left coded messages of defiance carved into the hulls of enemy ships. Veylara didn't just want to end the war. She wanted to understand him. The capture that never came. For 3 weeks, Zytherian hunters scoured asteroid belts and shattered moons for Kael's trail. Every time they thought they had him cornered, his ship slipped through. His tactics defied logic, almost as if he could predict their moves before they made them. Until one morning, her palace guards received a transmission. It wasn't from a fleet. It was from him. To Queen Veylara of the Zytherian Empire, the voice said through static, calm and deep. I'm done running. Tell your guards not to shoot. I'm coming in alone. The palace fell silent. Veylara thought it was a trick, a bluff meant to lure her into some kind of trap. But moments later, her surveillance feeds showed a single human dropship descending through the red clouds. No escort. No weapons powered. Just a lone pilot walking into the capital of his enemies. The human who walked alone. When Kael stepped out of the landing bay, Zytherian soldiers surrounded him instantly. His armor bore the scars of 100 battles. His eyes the cold calm of a man who'd already accepted his fate. He didn't resist when they took his weapons. He didn't flinch when they bound his wrists. Veylara watched from above, her wings of silver cloth flowing behind her like liquid light. Her voice echoed through the grand hall. Commander Kael Renn, you dare walk willingly into the heart of your enemy's empire. He looked up at her throne, at the shimmering alien who ruled an entire species with the grace of a blade. His expression softened slightly. I didn't come here to fight you, Your Majesty, he said. I came here to end it. A meeting between enemies. Veylara dismissed her guards, intrigued despite herself. You think you can end the war by surrendering? She asked, circling him slowly. You must think I'm naive. Kael met her gaze. No. I think you're tired. Her lips parted slightly. No one had ever dared say that to her. You've lost soldiers. Have I? You've seen worlds burn same as I have. You want peace, but your council won't allow it. I'm here to give you a way out. Veylara's wings twitched, a sign of inner turmoil. The human's words hit something she tried to bury, the part of her that remembered nights staring out at the stars, wondering how she became a queen of ashes. Why should I believe a human? She demanded. Because, Kael said quietly, I know your secret. The secret of the queen. For a moment her mask cracked. He couldn't know. The secret of her ascension was buried deep in classified records. Records erased from all archives. Kael continued, his tone low. You weren't supposed to be queen, were you? Your sister, Elira, was the true heir. Until she died in that reactor explosion. Caused by human sabotage. Except that wasn't sabotage, was it? It was your own council, trying to frame Earth so they could justify this war. Her heart stopped. Every guard in the room raised their rifles, but she lifted a hand. "Stand down." "How do you know this?" she whispered. Kael's eyes softened. "Because the man who ordered that explosion defected. He found me 2 years ago. Died in my arms. He told me everything." The silence between them was vast and heavy. The Empire had built its power on a lie, and this human had just shattered it. The reason he surrendered. "Why come here then?" Veylara asked, voice shaking. "If you knew the truth, why not expose it to the galaxy?" Kael's gaze dropped for the first time. "Because I wasn't sure if you knew. I didn't want your blood on the same lie that killed millions. If you were complicit, I'd have destroyed you. But if you weren't..." He hesitated. "Then maybe there's still hope." For a long moment, Veylara said nothing. The throne room, lit by molten crystal, felt suddenly small. "You risked your life, walked into my empire just to tell me this?" "No," Kael said softly. "That's only part of it." He reached into his armor pocket slowly, and guards tensed again. But instead of a weapon, he drew out a small metallic cube, fractured and glowing faintly blue. "This is a memory core," he said. "It contains the truth, visual logs, command orders, everything. But it's decaying. I need Zytherian tech to stabilize it. That's why I came." Her eyes widened. He was asking for her help, to expose her own empire. The Queen's dilemma. That night, the palace corridors echoed with whispers. The Queen was alone with a human prisoner, and rumors spread like wildfire. Her advisors demanded his execution, but Veylara ignored them. In her private chamber, she activated the core. Holograms flickered to life. The faces of Zytherian generals plotting the explosion, her sister's screams, the Council's decree to blame humanity. When the images faded, she fell to her knees, trembling. Her hands glowed faintly as her energy flickered with rage and sorrow. "Everything I built," she whispered, "was based on a lie." Kael knelt beside her, not as an enemy, but as someone who understood loss too well. "Now you see why I surrendered," he said. "I don't want to destroy you. I want to help you destroy them." For the first time in her reign, Veylara smiled, not out of triumph but relief. The betrayal within. Together they began to plan. But the Council was not blind. One of her closest advisors, General Tovrik, learned of the alliance. That same night, the palace went under lockdown. Alarms blared. Soldiers stormed the chamber. "Your Majesty," Tovrik roared. "Step away from the human. He's manipulating you." Kael drew no weapon, but his stance shifted. Protective, calm. Veylara stood beside him, eyes glowing like twin suns. "No, General," she said coldly. "He's shown me what you've hidden." Tovrik's sneer was pure venom. "You'd betray your own blood for him." "I'd betray liars," she snapped. "For truth." A firefight erupted. Kael ducked behind the throne, deflecting plasma bolts with a fallen guard's shield. Veylara unleashed arcs of emerald energy from her palms, each strike precise, her anger finally unleashed. When the smoke cleared, the chamber lay in ruins. Tovrik was gone, escaped, but not before leaving a scar across Kael's arm with a searing blade. Trust in the ashes. In the aftermath, Kael sat on the palace steps while Veylara tended his wound. Her hands glowed faintly as nanite strands closed the cut. "You bleed easily," she teased softly. "You hit hard," he replied, earning a quiet laugh, the first he'd heard from her.